The Pittsburgh Steelers need change. Some of that is schematics, some of that is personnel, a lot of that is motivation and just being able to execute. But the Pittsburgh Steelers need change. And their two most recent signings, they're two players who used to play together for a different organization, one that they will play this weekend in Foxborough at Gillette Stadium. They may be the keys to fixing some things on defense. And if they are, the Pittsburgh Steelers could be just fine. And there are reasons to believe that these fixes are there with these players and that they will be able to execute and contribute in ways that the Pittsburgh Steelers desperately need. What's up, Steelers Nation? Thank you so much for jumping on to another episode of Steelers to Go, your daily dose of Pittsburgh Steelers news and analysis. I'm Noah Strackbein. Find us on youtube.com/allsteelerstalk. Check us out anywhere you get your podcasts. And as always, find all our work at si.com/NFL/Steelers. Yesterday, we spoke to Jawan Bentley, and last week we spoke to Jabril Peppers. Both of them are former New England Patriots players. Both of them combined for 153 starts in the NFL, 1,020 tackles in the NFL. Both of them are known for the same things. And because of that, they may be the perfect fixes for the Pittsburgh Steelers and what they are looking to do and what they are looking to solve heading into week 3. The Pittsburgh Steelers need to make some changes. They need to figure some things out defensively before they could even start to worry about the offense. You could talk Aaron Rodgers and no run game and the offensive line and wide receivers and where are the tight ends all day long. But the rule of thumb in the NFL is simple. You score less than 20 points in a game, you have an opportunity to win. Okay. Well, the Steelers, through 2 weeks, are giving up 31.5 points per game. It's atrocious. To stop that, I have somewhat of an answer that I think is blatant, right in our face, so easy to acknowledge, and the Steelers probably should acknowledge it, and I expect that they do, and that is to implement Jabril Peppers and to implement Jawan Bentley at some point this season. Peppers now, Bentley later. Peppers is the easy one. We're going into week 3. The Pittsburgh Steelers play the New England Patriots. This guy started for the New England Patriots for a number of years, is a run-stuffing safety who brings a thump and a physicality to a defense that right now lacks thump and physicality. Juan Thornhill, who came in here to be the guy next to Deshaun Elliott, who was the thumper, has missed more tackles than he's made in 2 weeks, has struggled mightily, and it's all over the tape that he is struggling mightily. I'm not saying replace him. I'm not saying put him on the sideline and never put him back on the field. What I'm saying is that the Pittsburgh Steelers hold no loyalty to a guy who has been here for 4 months. What I'm saying is that the Pittsburgh Steelers have another guy who is another long-term starter in the NFL, who, yes, hasn't been a massive contributor in 2 years, but when he was a pretty good one. And the Steelers have always enjoyed what they've seen out of Jabril Peppers, and right now is an opportunity to put him back on the field because the Steelers do not need better coverage safeties. They need somebody to tackle someone. They need somebody to provide physicality in a way that adds a spark. The Pittsburgh Steelers desperately need some oomph. They have none. It's like driving an old Toyota Corolla where you put your foot to the floor and nothing moves. That's what the Steelers defense looks like. But they have the names to get that spark going. And we saw in week 1 what happened when Jalen Ramsey added that extra spark by getting physical with Garrett Wilson at the end of the first half. Things looked better in the second. The Steelers need more of that. And Jalen could provide it at times, but nobody else is. maybe you put Jabril Peppers out there and he does, because that's what Deshaun Elliott is here to do. That's why Deshaun Elliott works so well in Pittsburgh, is because he is the guy that adds that key element of grittiness to a defense that desperately needs grittiness. They didn't have it. That was the problem with Minka. That's why Minka wasn't the guy for this defense, was because the Steelers needed gritty, and they didn't have gritty. Nobody on that defense outside of Deshaun Elliott was gritty last season. This year, that gritty, I take that back. Landon Roberts was gritty. This year, it's Jalen Ramsey, and it was supposed to be Deshaun Elliott, and now it needs to be Jabril Peppers. You need to put Jabril Peppers out there, and I anticipate that they do. I look at the Steelers defense this week, and I think a lot of number 40, which is still a disgusting number to give someone. Disgusting, as ugly as they come. But I think a lot of 40 is going to be out there. And I think the Steelers and Mike Tomlin are going to look for him to provide just the ability to hit somebody. That's all they need. They do not need him to be a turnover machine. They do not need him to be the next superstar of this defense or to replace Deshaun Elliott as the guy. All they need him to do in week 3 is to tackle somebody enough times where the rest of the defense feels like they have some motivation and some confidence to continue to tackle people, because that's what happened in week 2. You watched so many guys miss tackles that it just became a trend, an unbreakable one. Maybe that changes now with Jabril Peppers. That's your week 3 solution. And I don't think your week 4 or 5 is to bench Peyton Wilson or to bench Patrick Queen or to shut down Cole Holcomb. I don't think those are the options. What I do think is that Malik Harrison is on injured reserve. And quite frankly, I don't know if Malik Harrison was going to be the guy that went out there and played 25 snaps a game and added that inside linebacker element that you desperately needed for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I will be not the first, but one of the most adamant to say, I don't think Peyton Wilson or Patrick Queen have played as bad as everybody thinks that they are. I think if you go and watch the tape, they spend a lot of time with Keanu Benton and Isaiah Loudermilk in their lap, being pushed back into them, where they are trying to shed blocks and shed their own defender in front of them and aren't able to do so. And yes, they could be better, but I don't think they're the worst part of stopping the run defense or run offense. And I don't think that benching them is the answer. What I do think is that as quickly as Bentley can get himself up to speed with the Pittsburgh Steelers defense is as quickly as the Steelers should start utilizing him like part of the defense. Put him out there. Allow him to do things. Allow him to be a physical guy. He's got 68 starts and 509 tackles in his career. Last season, he was the starter, got hurt in week 2, tells us that he's healthy and ready to go. I believe him. He is price tagged way higher than the practice squad. And by that, I mean, he should not be on a practice squad. He is not a practice squad player. He is a longtime starter and a veteran in this league. He deserves to get an opportunity in Pittsburgh to be a guy, not the guy, not a starter, but a guy. And what he brings to that defense is exactly what they're missing. They have Cole Holcomb, who is a physical linebacker for sure, but Bentley is just a run stuffer. That is what he is. He is the Landon Roberts of what the Steelers are missing since losing Landon Roberts. He's the guy that comes in here on 3rd and 1 and is able to run straight at the center and find the running back. That is what Jawan Bentley is here to do, and that is exactly what the Steelers have been missing at inside linebacker. Again, Patrick Queen's a 3-down guy. Peyton Wilson is developing into one, and I don't think he's playing as poorly as everybody believes that he is. I think if you go back and watch it, it's a lot of everything around these guys just as much as it is them. But Bentley's addition is significant. I said it on the podcast yesterday. This is not a nobody signing. This is not a practice squad move that nobody cares about. This is not a Isaiah Hodgins who's coming in here to do nothing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is a linebacker with experience that the Pittsburgh Steelers at some point in the near future can rely on. What's up, AST Nation? I've teamed up with DraftKings. The next great touchdown is coming. You can bet on it. And the best way to do so is through DraftKings Sportsbooks, where new customers who bet $5 get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Love the thrill of live betting? DraftKings has you covered. Bet live on in-progress games right as they happen. Then use your bonus bets to stay in on the action and bet on DraftKings same game parlays for a shot at an even bigger payout. And don't worry, if sports betting is not yet available in your state, you're fine. You can still join in on all of the fun with DraftKings daily fantasy sports and have the shot to win cash prizes. New customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Sign up using my promo code ALLSteelers and get in on the action only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Who they must rely on to help solve the run issues. And if you solve the run, think about every defensive scheme in NFL history. Think about every defensive interview in NFL history. You have never once heard an NFL defender or head coach or defensive coordinator sit around and say, how do we beat this team? We stop the air game. We stop the passing attack. No. Rule one in the NFL, always, every single week, is to make them one-dimensional. Okay, for the Steelers, that's to make them throw the football, because you want to know where their superstars are? Well, it's Jalen Ramsey, who's in the secondary. It's Joey Porter Jr., who's in the secondary. It's Darius Slay, who's in the secondary. It's TJ Watt, who's rushing the passer. It's Nick Herbig and Alex Highsmith and Cam Hayward and Keanu Benton, who's not a run guy, who is a pass rush guy. That is what the Steelers need. You make a team one-dimensional. You have, quote unquote, from himself, the best coverage linebacker in the NFL, in the world, he says. Okay, great. So make them throw the football. You can't do that if you're allowing them to run the football, because teams will run before they throw every time. No team in the NFL, not even those with Patrick Mahomes or Matthew Stafford, not those with Mike McDaniels and Kyle Shanahan and Mike McVay and Andy Reid coaching them, will throw the football if their ground game is elite and working as such. So go shut it down. Put Jabril Peppers out there. Put Jawan Bentley out there and allow two big, nasty, physical guys to play big, nasty, physical football and make that the next evolution of your defense, to allow yourself to get a shot to stop the run. Kenneth Walker said it was like eating cake, pretty much, taking candy from a baby running through the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Yeah, it looked like it. It definitely looked like it. Again, the best way to stop it, the best way to get rid of that narrative, the best way to force teams to play football against you and to give yourself a shot to win it is to make them throw the football. Turnovers happen through the air. Accidents happen through the air. TJ Watt gets to the pass rusher when he's dropping back to throw the football. Just saying. The Pittsburgh Steelers have two guys. Put them on the field. You don't got to listen to me. Listen to them. Listen to the defense. Listen to the offenses that are playing you. Listen to everybody who is showing you that you need to be better through the ground. And the best way to do that is to put the most physical guys on the field. Jabril Peppers is one of them. I expect him to play this week against the Patriots. I expect this to be revenge game number 3 for Pittsburgh. And I think this one is going to be a good one. I hope, at least. I think we all do. And then as soon as Bentley is ready to go, you call him up and you put him on the 53 and you stop messing around and you allow him to be that guy that comes off the bench as your 4th, maybe your 3B, works with Cole Holcomb, mixes in with Peyton Wilson and Patrick Queen, and then when Malik Harrison is back, I mean, it's okay to not have Carson Bruner. It really, truly is. It stinks that you're going to move a guy who was a draft pick down to your practice squad, but that's okay. You can make that move. And I think that decision is warranted, necessary, and a smart one. But these guys got to get on the field. We'll see if they do. We'll see if they do. Thank you guys so much for jumping on to another episode of Steelers to Go. Make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/All Steelers Talk. Check us out anywhere you get your podcasts. As always, find all my work at si.com/NFL/Steelers. I'll be back later for the flagship show. Until then, enjoy another beautiful day in the Berg. Peace.